Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here for more Lamplight City. I'm gonna see through that dude when he's in the light. Let's jump back into it. We have just been kind of interviewing people. Madame Dupre's someone tried to kill her. She woke up at her funeral. And she's kind of comatose since. Her son's all doped up because he was frantic or something, so the doctor gave him some shit. Couldn't talk to one of the maids, and we couldn't get into a chest. And now we're here to talk to the daughter. She's there at
Flowers
school.
are definitely not native to this area. They seem to be thriving in their glass tubes now. Quite the assortment of plants they keep in here. I wonder if they serve any purpose or are just meant to look pretty. Judging from that pipe, that contraption must be used to keep the plants hydrated. But it looks like a giant earwax remover to me.
It does.
I've never seen a flower grow that big. What do you suppose they're feeding them? One of those cute little Japanese trees that are all the
tree.
rage these days. Personally, I don't see how giving a tree a haircut is meant to be relaxing.
All right,
Pardon the
Juliet.
disturbance, but are you Juliet Montgomery?
I am. And you are?
Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator looking into the events surrounding your mother's attempted murder.
Ah, of course.
Have you got time to answer some questions?
Yes,
Come on,
that
lady.
shouldn't be a problem.
Better not be. Let's hear a little about yourself first.
So, you study botany. Fascinating subject.
Are you an admirer of plants, Mr. Fordham?
My wife has the green thumb in the household, but I do have a certain appreciation for them.
Plants are amazing things. Just like people in many ways.
How do you mean?
They need attention and care. Ignore a plant, and it will wither. Give it too much attention, and it will become sick. Plants have many things to teach us, and I greatly enjoy learning from them.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
These plants are impressive. Are they yours?
Yes, I've developed a method to make them extra healthy and strong.
They're larger than anything I've ever seen. How do you do it?
Steroids.
Ah, but I can't reveal my secrets, Mr. Fordham. The world will hear about my discoveries soon enough.
Incidentally, do you know anything about Easter lilies?
No, I don't keep or grow those here.
Okay, what about your
Do you
mama?
know anything about the events leading up to your mother's premature interment?
No, it was a complete shock. Mother seemed to be perfectly healthy and full of life. Then, without warning, she was dead. Or so we thought.
I take it you were glad to be wrong?
What a ridiculous question. Of course I was.
Yeah, really?
What sort of heartless beast would celebrate their mother's death?
Oh, I could name a few. Juliet definitely didn't shed any tears over Madame Dupre, though. That much is obvious.
Miss Montgomery, you don't have to lie to me. I'm not going to assume you tried killing your mother just because you weren't upset by her death.
I felt terrible
Okay, that's
about
bugging
it.
me.
You have to understand, I didn't want her to be dead. I just felt a sense of relief. Please, don't think me a horrible person, Mr. Fordham. It's just that Mother and I aren't currently on the best of terms.
Oh, we got mommy issues. What's going on?
Why don't you and your mother get along?
We've never completely seen eye to eye on anything. She always disapproved of anything I did. When I was younger, she used to forbid me from speaking to the servants. I saw no harm in a kind word or smile, but she warned us that if we were too familiar, they would take liberties. Then when I
What a
declared my
bitch.
intentions to pursue academic studies, she really went livid. In her opinion, a university education was tantamount to a chastity belt. What sort of man would want a wife with a head full of useless facts, she'd say.
Personally,
Oh,
I've always
wow.
found intelligence to be quite attractive.
I assume your mother didn't approve of your involvement with Mr. Martin?
A rather forward question, Mr. Fordham. But you're not mistaken.
No, I'm not.
I'm not sure how she managed to find out about Albert and me, but when she did, she nearly had a conniption. As I'm sure you can understand, the situation at home has been less than perfect in the last few months. I'd really rather not dwell on it.
You mentioned you were friends with the servants.
Yes, that's right. I didn't care that they worked for us. Everyone needs a friend.
Did your mother ever mistreat them?
Thank you for
Mistreat?
being a friend.
No, I wouldn't say so. She was always very stern, though. and quite cold. If they ever shirked their duties or misbehaved, they were punished, of course, but nothing out of the ordinary that I ever saw. Most of the servants are my friends, but I'm closest with Amelie, the kitchen maid. Mother wasn't too happy about that. Amelie's been around as long as I can remember. She's like the aunt I never had.
Okay, she wouldn't talk
Can
to
you
us.
tell me
Maybe
about
she'll talk
Albert
to us
Martin?
now.
I'm not quite sure where to begin.
In the beginning.
Why not start by telling me what your relationship with him was?
We met here at the greenhouse. He was working as an assistant, sweeping and cleaning and fetching things for the students. My focus was on academics, naturally. I wasn't too interested in romance. In fact, I've had to turn away nearly every single one of my classmates. But with Albert, I found myself
Really?
intrigued. I noticed him stealing glances, lingering just a bit too long after bringing over a book or flask, sweeping the same patch of floor near me over and over again. It wasn't too long before
He
I
was
had him
sweet on
bringing
her.
me tools and equipment, regularly.
I see.
As I mentioned, Mother was an absolute terror when she
Oh
found
yeah, I'm
out.
sure he was bringing
Do you believe
bringing
Mr.
all
Martin
the
did what he
tools.
stands accused of?
I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't seem like him, but Albert can be quite
So
passionate.
basically, she's saying she
If
doesn't
the
know if she
police
did it or
believe
not.
he's to blame, then they must have a reason for it. It wasn't any secret that he hated Mother. Perhaps I should have ended things sooner. It was satisfying to know that Mother was displeased, but I never imagined it would lead to something like this.
Well, it's nice to see she's all heart.
Andrew.
What can you tell me about your brother?
Andrew, Mama's precious little boy. If you've met him, you pretty much know all you need to. He's had the whole world handed to him on a silver platter. But he's in for a rude awakening someday. Mother can only provide for him for so long.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
Okay, so she doesn't give a shit about Albert. That much is clear. We can go check out her apartment now.
Egad! Is this someone's room or a jungle?
Quite a fascinating array of plants in here. Not to mention the machinery on the table.
Seems like Juliet is very interested in getting extra credit.
Yeah, what do we got here?
I wonder what sort of fertilizer or growth tonic these plants are getting. Whatever it is, it's definitely working. Those are the most vibrant flowers we've seen in a while. I bet they smell extra strong.
Yes, they certainly do.
It's a good thing you're the one with the nose. This plant makes Miles Jr. look like a single blade of grass.
Little Miles. Take a look at the desk.
They're just doing what flies do best. I have no idea nor desire to know what purpose that thing has.
Well now, this is interesting.
What is it? Larger, more vibrant flowers. Seemingly. Root system strengthen, increase the capacity to absorb nutrients. If animals with greater cognitive ability, including humans, are exposed to specific quantities of... They go into a stupor, appearing unresponsive or dead. That's what happened to his mom, her mom. I'm gonna save it.
Oh, would you look at that?
What is that?
Etheric pressure. What a bunch of nonsense. I have no idea. Just a bunch of technical nonsense. I can't understand a word of it. Oh, would you look at that?
Well, I don't know.
They appear to be scientific scribblings. I can't make heads nor tails of them.
That makes two of us.
They appear to be
That makes two of us.
We didn't even look at the bookcase.
That's quite the book collection. It almost puts Adelaide's to shame.
All impeccably cataloged and organized as well, which makes the two missing volumes stand out even more.
That's quite the...
All
Well, what are the two missing ones? Alright, I don't see anything else we can do there. Okay, that's where Mama lives. Let's talk to Albert
Could I
again.
ask you some more questions, Mr. Martin?
It's not like I'm going anywhere.
Albert, did you hate Madame Dupre?
The woman is cruel, sadistic, and bigoted. When she found out about my relationship with Juliet, she sent me a letter threatening to have me killed if I got near her house or her daughter.
Yeah, we saw that.
So yes, Mr. Fordham, I hated her. But even so, I love her daughter. I wouldn't be so cruel as to take Juliet's mother away from her, even if she hated her too.
I beg your pardon?
Juliet and her mother didn't get along at all. I never asked why, but it was obvious there was something going on.
Okay, Juliet's not being honest with us.
That's all for now.
Ah, Compton Street. We're not too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
Let's go talk to Mama here.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
Wait.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham.
Miles.
I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Oh, I see. That's good, that's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
Look at this place.
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham. I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you,
We're
ma'am.
cool.
I won't be staying long.
It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
We're just gonna open up her curtains.
I'm afraid that room is private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully ask you to not go in there.
Of course. My apologies.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't Easter egg.
It's all about Easter lilies, Bill, huh?
Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves. For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least. A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
The willies?
A rather The Virgin Mary. I must admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
That's everything. Let's talk to Miss Martin.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
You damn right you're going to. Tell me about yourself.
What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asogwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a
Okay.
detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Yeah, yep, I know. We could probably ask her for tea to get in that room.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Why don't you tell me a bit more about him then?
He started working at the
That's not what
university
my mom would say.
laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Aw, poor
Is she
guy.
sure that's the correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
Saint Roch is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
Mystery.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include
Interesting.
you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter
Smitten.
that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
Let's save it. Sneaking around.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
Interesting. Should we come back later?
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham. You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin. I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
About that back room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't
She
know
got
about this,
pissed.
Miles. Is this really a road you want to go down?
I had a look behind your curtain. Care to explain what all those things in that back room are?
Mr. Fordham, I was under the impression you could be trusted. Clearly, Albert was wrong about you.
Why are you keeping them out of view? What's their significance?
I don't like people invading my privacy, Mr. Fordham. You're no longer welcome in my home. Please leave.
But without me, your son won't get out of jail. Nobody else thinks he's innocent. Are you really going to put your pride over your son's life?
Yeah.
And now you insult me? You're really something special. I won't say it again. Get out!
All right.
You clearly hit a nerve there, Fordham.
Rather suspicious, if you ask me. Perhaps her and Mr. Martin's religious practices aren't as innocent as they claim to be.
An interesting notion. Well, I can't deny that the evidence against Mr. Martin is somewhat
Oh, we got an
damning.
achievement for
If
it.
his mother was so
So we
sure
gotta
of his
go with it.
innocence, she'd surely have explained what all those things behind the curtain were. I don't think Upton will appreciate being proven wrong. But like Fellows said, facts are facts.
Okay, find a stimulant to bring Andrew out of his stupor. Discover the source of Juliet and her mother's rift. Return to Upton and accuse Albert Martin. Okay, well, we haven't been to the tomb yet. Should we go fuck with Juliet some more? Let's go press Juliet.
Hello again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
Do you know anything about ethericity, Miss Montgomery?
You surprised me, Mr. Fordham. I had no idea someone of your profession would know or care about something like that.
I've found that it pays to be open-minded.
To answer your question, yes, I am familiar with the theory of ethericity. In fact, it's recently become a focus of my studies.
You don't say.
Despite what the newspapers have been reporting, it's already possible to access it in small quantities from the air around us.
Have you conducted any experiments?
No, my research has been purely theoretical. I don't have the means to do anything practical, I'm afraid.
Deceiver, dissembler, her trousers are alight. I can't understand why Juliet might not want to make her research public, though.
Well.
Miss
Aha!
Montgomery, please don't lie to me. I know you've been conducting experiments with ethericity. I've seen the room you're renting on Forest Lane.
What? But how?
I'm that good.
I wouldn't be very good at my job if I didn't find things out, Miss Montgomery. Now please, drop the act and tell me about your experiments.
Yeah,
Fine.
I don't need to tell her we
I've
were
been
snooping.
researching etheric effects on living organisms. I'm planning on presenting my discoveries to the board once I make more progress. So far, I've managed to discover that plant growth is accelerated significantly. It's given me quite the advantage in class.
But isn't that cheating?
You have no idea how difficult it's been for me to be taken seriously, Mr. Fordham. No matter how hard I tried, my work wasn't valued on its own merits by my peers or professors. I fought hard to get where I am. I wasn't about to lose all that just because some pig-headed idiots didn't think my best was good enough.
That sounds awfully familiar.
What about your notes on the effects of ethericity on animals?
Oh, those aren't complete. I haven't tested the effects on anything larger than flies.
Oh,
Those
so flies aren't
experiments were
dead.
mainly to satisfy my curiosity, but they have little to do with my actual research.
Curiosity? Seems like a lot of effort to go to just to answer a question. But then, I never really understood these scientific types.
No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
So we're done at the apartment. Let's go talk to the maid.
This quack hasn't gotten anything.
Alright, he's got nothing for us. Alright, what's up?
Pardon me, miss.
I told you I'm very busy, and I'll get in trouble if I'm caught speaking to you.
Amelie, please. I need to know what you know.
That's right, I know your name.
What? How did you know my name?
Juliet told me about you.
Miss Juliet.
Yes, I spoke to her at the university. She mentioned you two were friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
She did.
That's right. She's always been so good to me.
Look, Amelie, I'm just trying to get some information. And I have a feeling you can be very helpful if you just let me talk to you.
All right, fine. But do it as fast as you can.
As fast as you can. Come on, what about
Are you
yourself?
the only remaining servant here?
No, there's another one. Marcel. He's the new gardener. I haven't seen him in a few days, though. Not since before Madame's incident.
Oh.
Tell me about
Where'd
Madame
he go?
Dupre.
Oh, I really shouldn't, sir.
It would greatly help my investigation if you did.
Madame Dupre was kind enough to hire me as her cook. It's hard to get jobs in the city. Lots of people want their servants to use those new machines. My sister's brother-in-law got half his leg blown off by one of those new ovens. He's lucky he wasn't killed. So I'm plenty happy working here doing real people's work. But Madam can be difficult sometimes.
Everybody's scared of the machines.
What do you mean by that?
No, I said enough.
What do you know about Madame Dupre's
Okay, so what's
supposed
wrong
death?
with Madame Dupre?
All I can tell you is that whoever did it really hated her.
Do you know Albert Martin, the man accused of the crime?
No, I'm sorry.
What can you tell me about Andrew?
He ain't so bad. Kinda spoiled, but he mostly cleans up after himself. Has a whole private part of the house, but I think he only uses one room. Better for me, way less to clean.
What do you know about Juliet?
She was always so kind to me and the others, but her mother don't like that one bit. Still, she sneaks down into the kitchen to keep me company some nights. Even though she's a good soul, I think part of her does it just to spite her mother.
Yeah,
Thank
probably.
you, Amelie. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Now please, let me get back to work.
We really didn't find anything new out there.
As amusing as it is to chat with this. Nothing else to.
Okay.
Ah, St. Denis Cemetery. Best view in the city. It's just a shame none of the residents can enjoy it. I think I'm buried around here somewhere. Wonder how the old gravestone is doing these days. This just goes to show you
It's a
can't take it
big-ass
with
tomb.
you, so you might as well spend it all on a giant tomb. Looks like people have left markings and offerings in front of this tomb. You may think it's a silly superstition, but I wish you'd leave a bottle of Bollingworth at my grave every now and then. I don't know him. Must be a recent addition to the force. Well, at least he won't recognize you.
Yeah, who is this guy?
Good day to you, officer.
Good day, sir. How may I be of assistance?
Sure is a nice day to be walking around the cemetery, wouldn't you agree?
I guess, if you're into that sort of thing. Personally, the noise those bugs are making is starting to drive me crazy.
Would you mind letting me in the tomb, please?
Afraid I can't do that, sir. This tomb is currently part of a police investigation and ain't available for visits until further notice.
Oh, come on.
But it's my dearly departed Aunt Hester's birthday today, and I always bring her flowers.
I'm sorry, sir, but I've got my
We don't
orders.
have any flowers anyway.
Come back in a few days. I can assure you, your aunt won't have gone anywhere.
What a dick. Maybe Upton got some information for us.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
We got a bunch.
I seem to have hit a roadblock. There's an officer posted at Dupre's family tomb, and he won't let me in.
Makes sense. Who's the officer?
I've never seen him before. He's young, has a small scar over his left eye, and a distinct Dixie accent.
Ah,
Dixie.
yes, that would be Officer Grant. He's only been with the department for about 2 months. I don't know a lot about him, but he's already got the reputation for being the type of policeman who'd go out of his way to help old ladies cross the street. Typical Southern gentleman, it seems. Perhaps you can use that to your advantage?
Okay.
Madame Dupre's son isn't being very helpful.
Is he refusing to talk?
More like incapable. The family doctor has him pretty well drugged to the gills. I need to find some way to perk him up.
Well, you know, we are in a coffee house.
I have a feeling it will take something a touch more powerful than coffee. That's enough about the case for now.
Okay.
That's it, I think.
Yeah, we're not ready to wrap it up because
Then
I still
you
don't
better
think
get back
Albert
to
did
it.
it. Something's going on with Juliet. Let's go talk to our wife.
I'm here.
Welcome home. So what's this big case Upton's got you on? Another missing pet?
If only.
Oh, ha, ha,
A Gascon
ha.
Grand Dame was attacked and almost interred alive.
You mean Madame Dupre? The one whose obituary was in the paper?
Mm-hmm.
Very same.
Goodness, that does sound serious. Tell me if there's anything I can do to help. I know you haven't been feeling your best lately.
You're always a help to me, Addie. Though I assure you I have this well in hand.
I certainly hope so.
Addie,
Yes, dear?
Oh, Addie.
do you know anything about Madame Dupre?
I've read that the Dupres are one of the few wealthy families that exclusively employ real people to serve. Rather commendable, don't you think?
Yes. It makes it even more baffling why she was attacked. Have you heard any gossip from your clients? Anything about who might have wanted to harm her?
Yeah, she can't be so
Nothing.
damn perfect.
She's held in the highest regard by the other Grand Dames. If she had actually died, I'd have expected them to petition her canonization.
I was wondering if you could do me a favor.
Oh, yeah.
There's an officer posted in front of Madame Dupre's family tomb, and I need to get a look inside. Could you use your wiles and charm to distract him?
My wiles and charm,
Well, you are irresistible, darling. I'm sure he wouldn't turn away a lady in need. Say you've gotten lost in the cemetery and ask him to show you the way out.
Should we really be tricking a police officer like that?
There's no harm in it, and I won't be but a moment inside. It's in a good cause.
All right, let's go then.
Oh, let's see.
Excuse me, officer. I was wondering if you could help me?
What do you want?
What do you want? What the fuck is that kind of
I
shit?
seem to have gotten all turned around. Do you have any idea how to get to the front gate?
My suggestion would be to turn around and head back the way you came.
What a
Yes,
dick.
I've tried that, but I seem to just be going in circles. Perhaps you could point me in the right direction?
Stop right there. That's quite enough from you.
I beg your pardon?
Don't think I can't tell what your game is. You're trying to lure me away from here and into some alley where your gang of Sambos is gonna rob me blind.
What the fuck?
Exactly how many of them have you got lying in wait for poor unsuspecting fools you bring them?
Just one. And
Well,
he
that's
doesn't
not
appreciate you talking to his wife that way.
You know, Miles, sometimes I forget how absolutely delightful it is to watch you lose your head.
Miles, was that really necessary?
I'm sorry, Addie. You know how I get with people whose minds are full of that rubbish.
Let's just get him out of sight before this lands both of us in jail. That bush over there should work.
And she helped us hide the
I have
body.
to say, I wasn't expecting assaulting a policeman to be on today's activity list.
It'll be fine. When you're on the force as long as I was, you can pretty much get away with murder.
Although I think you may have already used up that privilege.
Ooh, you told me
Well,
to shoot.
it's been fun, but I need to take my wiles and charm over to my appointment with Mrs. Lefebvre. I'll see you at home later, dear. Try to stay out of trouble.
She doesn't even care. Alright, let's check this tomb out real quick.
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles? I suppose the whole heaven shining down upon the tomb motif is good for the dead people's self-esteem. What a dramatic statue. I'm rather surprised no one has defaced it. Hang on. You don't suppose this is...
What?
Surprise, surprise! A hidden compartment with a stash of pills inside. Seems Mr. Montgomery has a little business on the side.
Interesting.
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch, leader, family man.
What did I just get? Homemade vigor pills. Small amount of stimulant pills. Handcrafted by Andrew Montgomery. Useful tool for reaching things too small for human hands to reach or for plucking those pesky eyebrows. Madame Dupree was likely poisoned, making her appear dead. Only got one suspect. Get away from my daughter or my house or I'll kill you myself. Oh, this is the agreed upon place. Under the Weeping Angel.
William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837, gone but never forgotten. Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840, good riddance.
These crypts are reserved for future generations of Chestertons to rot in.
There are only 3 left.
Then let's hope the Chestertons aren't opposed to spending eternity cozied up to one another.
Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 1810, strong in life, stronger in death. Celine, 1823 to 1844, taken too soon, rest ye with the angels. Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 1815, ab eterno. Sarah
What that
Chesterton,
means.
1784 to 1812, I told you I was sick. Dale Chesterton, 1795 to 1843, a good man, rest in peace.
All right. Well, let's go. We got the pills. So let's go give them to old Andrew. But that's going to have to wait till the next episode. Thank you for dropping in today, guys. Drop a like if you haven't. Drop a sub if you're new. I am getting out of here. See you.